Hey, what's going on guys, Mixuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a mono black zombies aggro deck for standard best of 3. So I know it's been a week since I posted a video. It's just been a really hectic week for me. I feel like I say this a lot, especially once uni starts. I just have a lot of shit to do, a lot of assignments, a lot of papers, and not only recording but Magic as a whole has kind of been on the back burner this week. Like, I have not played much. I've played maybe like 3 games aside from what you're seeing right now. So, I also haven't been watching any Magic YouTube or like listening to the Magic podcasts I normally do. So it's been a rough Magic week, but hopefully we're going to be back. And because of that, I haven't had enough or very much time to theory craft decks. So we're just going to be playing the deck that I edited that did pretty well like last week that I was super fond of. It's a mono black zombies aggro deck, right? So it's taking a lot of the mono black core that I posted a couple weeks back and editing it for best of 3. And I've been playing a bit more best of 3 this week just because the games aren't as long with aggro and you get to rank up a bit faster. And basically, this mono black aggro deck centers around Champion of the Perished, which is really cool. 1 mana 1/1, whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of the Perished. So we're just trying to be really hyper aggressive while controlling our opponent's threats if we're in the aggro mirror and controlling their hand if we're in the control mirror. This deck is very resilient in both of those matchups and it has a shit ton of stuff to do. So we have Champion, right? To support it, we have just Dungeon Crawler. You can treat this as a vanilla 2/1 zombie. That ETB is tapped, you're not venturing at all, but it beefs this up and it's a decent 1-drop for the deck. Then you have Adversary, which can be a solid 2-drop, just comes down as a 2/3 death touch, or you can play it on 5 to make it bigger and make some decayed zombies. We also have White, which even in not zombies aggro was really good. Like, the reason this deck works is because it takes cards that are already good and playable, like White, like Tainted Adversary, and puts them into this sort of zombies theme to support the Champion, which is probably the best zombies card we got in the freaking set, right? Or a zombies tribal card we got in the set. So that's really cool. White, as you know, when a creature is dealt damage with White and it dies, you get a 2/2 zombie. Not White dying, but the creature that White kills dying. Other new cards slash zombies. Well, Dracolich isn't a new card, but it is a zombie. It plays into the recurring theme, right? So we have a lot of value in the deck. Skyclave Shade, Manlands, putting mana into Adversary, right? We have a lot of stuff to do with our mana, and Dracolich plays into that. We also have Trespasser as a new card. It's not a zombie, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's literally at a tombstone. I think it's digging up a corpse. I don't know, on the Glutton card. But hey, this card looks like it can be a freaking zombie. Just look at the art. Whatever, it's fine. Human Werewolf. War discard a card is really, really good. When it ETBs, you get to exile 1 target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So in aggro mirrors, this is a quicker clock. It comes down, does 1 damage, and if they can't remove it right away and it attacks, you're essentially getting a drain 2 from this 1 creature. So even if you're trading it, or like just crashing into something, if you need the extra 2 damage, this card can get you there. And if it's flipped, it does even more than that, as long as there are creatures in the graveyard. Also, if it's not getting the attack off, then your opponent had to remove it. And if it wasn't with a board wipe, then they had to discard a card. So this card's just a value train. It's a value house. And I definitely would run it in every black aggro deck. Really, really good. Other older cards we have, Bloodchief's Thirst, just good cheap removal. More duresses. Every deck pretty much has targets for duress, and it's really, really good against like all the iteration decks that are going around, and a lot of the, what's it called? Storm the Festival. Geez, I'm out of it. Storm the Festival decks. They have a lot of key instants and sorceries that you want to remove. Olren's Epiphany, Storm the Festival. But this card is not as good because of flashback, which I've noticed is an issue. But then we also have the Trespasser, which I forgot to mention. Even if you're not draining the creatures out of the yard with it, or you're not exiling creatures to drain, you can exile important flashback spells, and exiling cards from the opponent's yard has never been so good. Or I mean, it has been, but it's really, really good right now. To help with that, we also have like the Hive, which can serve the same purpose on a land. Yeah, so Bloodchief's Thirst, Duress, Infernal Grasp, just cheap removal spell. Like I said in my first mono black video, if we're trying to kill them, we don't really care about the life loss all that much, and Shade because it's a nice little recurring threat. Mana base, Snow, Swamps, Faceless Haven, and Hive of the Eye Tyrant. I feel like I want more lands. 24 doesn't seem always to be enough, but I think it's fine. Maybe you can go up to like 25, 26 is really pushing it. Sideboard, We have Bloodchief's Thirst against Aggro, right? Oh, this is another reason why I really like it. It's a clean sideboard out. You basically just remove all your hand hate and your Skyclave Shades against Aggro, and you put in a bunch of removal. And against control, you basically take out your removal and some of your worst threats, and you put in a lot of hand hate and better threats. So yeah, Bloodchief's Thirst for Aggro, Power Word Kill for Aggro, check for traps, easy 4 of for control, Meathook Massacre for aggro, Skyclave Shade for control, and Regent for control. Like I said, the War Discard cards are really good. They don't play well against sweepers, so keep that in mind. Anyways, guys, sorry for the delay. I hope you like the deck. It's not the most creative shit, but it's really powerful, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So if you like the deck, it will be in the description down below as always. Don't forget to drop a like on the video, and consider subscribing. It motivates me to make more content. So that's gonna be it for me, guys. Let's get into some games. Okay, I mean, this hand is a little bit slow, but we have removal and adversary, so we're gonna keep it. Also, a bunch of man lands are nice. Uh-oh, if this actually is just Dimir control, we might be in trouble. Looks like Dimir control. Okay, let's get the white down, because we can use this later. The lag will sort itself out in just 1 second, don't you worry. But yeah, Dracolich, great draw. I have a lot of removal spells in my deck, which is slightly concerning, because there's a lot of stuff they can take. Although we only have 2 more Bloodchief's Thirsts and 2 more Infernal Grasps. Okay, let's go straight to combat. Grixis. Now, how much are we committing to the board? I think we can play out some stuff. Get down the Dungeon Crawler. Like, let's think of what wraths we have to play around. It really is just Shadow's Verdict, Burn Down the House. And those are a turn away. It also makes their removal spells not as good. Okay, they just go turn 2 into turn 3 Insight, which is pretty sweet. On turn 4, I also get to just chill out and hold open Dracolich. So if they want to Wrath, not this turn, but the turn after, we can, in response, play a 5-2 at flash speed. Should be fine. So this is probably just Grixis Epiphany. Oh, they choose Duress. Are they struggling on mana? No, they're not. They're going to Duress me, perhaps. Just take a Infernal Grasp. Honestly, the information of them knowing about this isn't at... Well, kind of hurts. It means that if they have a Wrath, they might not go for it. I think we don't need to play this. They didn't use their Duress. I think I can just play land. Remove the adversary. Actually get some use out of our removal spell. Get in some good damage. And then hit them with a Duress. Okay, Epiphany's not relevant right now. Juari's is really slow. Infernal Grasp is a removal spell, but it'll cost them 2 life. I feel like it's either Infernal Grasp or Expressive Iteration. I'm gonna take Iteration. This doesn't do much. This is really slow. So they can remove one thing, but it will damage them as well, and they're not exactly doing stellar on life. Okay, this gives them some life, which is probably good. Yep. Playing my deck, I know. Ward discard a card is awkward, so now they have to choose here whether they foretell or whether they want to shoot something. Okay, now I gotta think. If I pass, it becomes nighttime, and nighttime isn't very good. They'll be able to gain 1 or 2 life off this. 1 life, they'll be at 10. Let's say we get in for 2 with the adversary, they go down to 8. I flash this in. They probably hold open Jawaris and I can't pay for it. What's my alternative? Shoot this. Get in for 4. Shoot this, discard. It's not terrible. It's not great. I think we do it, though. Ward, discard a card. It's almost like that line of text is good. At least I'm getting rid of some removal spells that otherwise aren't doing all that much. Okay, they're at 5. So if I draw any land or any land that doesn't have the Eye Tyrant, we can animate this thing. They're really looking for a creature. Oh, they find a land. Okay. Now you can foretell. Hold open Jawaris and something else. Land off the top is really, really good for me. Yep, that's foretell. And that's land off the top. Sweet. I'm also going to animate the... Wait, should I animate the hive? Does it matter? Let's say they have a removal spell. I think they're dead regardless. This just gets rid of the Siphon Insight in the graveyard. And if they have a removal spell and they're removing manland anyways, it doesn't really change anything. Except that Faceless Haven also takes less mana to activate. Oh my god, they play Power Word Kill. I just got giga punished, guys. If they didn't have Power Word Kill there and they actually had Infernal Grasp, then they wouldn't have been able to target Faceless Haven. Okay, note to self, play around Power Word Kill, but they have 2 birds and we have Faceless Haven, so they're still dead. That was close. Okay, we know they run Power Word Kill, which is not something I've seen in a while. Now we have our control plan of check for traps, Skyclave Shade, Westgate Regent. We drop off some removal spells, and we can drop off the cards that are less good in the control mirror. So those are like the easy side outs. Then we have to think like the ward cards are really good. This is really good. 1-drops are important. Dress is good. Hand hate is good. I think we swap out some shades for some whites and then 1 adversary. Just because this is a recurring 2-drop. But this is also really good because it pressures them, right? This is better because it's good in the late game. I think I'm down to go to... 3 should be fine, actually. I'm either going 3 white or 3 adversary. I think this is good. We definitely want all of the Skyclave Shades. Let's go. All the ward creatures are really good. Hand hate is really good. That's what I like so much about this deck. We have so much cheap removal for the aggro mirrors and so much cheap hand hate for the control matchup. We also have a lot of recurring threats, and the ward creatures are very strong. Okay, so this is obviously worse now because we don't have as many zombies, but I still think it's solid. So, adversary or shade? I kind of like adversary, just because it beefs this up. Alright, double Faceless Haven is also really good. They are missing some mana, which is totally fine with me. Let's get a Faceless Haven off Summoning Sickness and play out one of our shades. Alright, what's it gonna be? No black right now? They have black. And they pass. Sick. So I can play land pre-combat. And then attack with Faceless Haven. But if they remove the shade, I might want to get it back. I think we just attack here and then flash in Draco Lich. Animate our lands later. It's not like we have any shortage of man lands. Okay, opponent falls to 7. Play out other Faceless Haven to get that one off Summoning Sickness. And now they're in trouble. Even if they have Wrath right here, we just play Draco Lich and then animate land and then we win. Yep, that's game. So yeah, really easy game, honestly. Like, that was not very difficult. Animate the land, and we killed them. Nice. And now you guys see why I'm enjoying this mono black deck so much. It's putting in freaking work. Okay, as much as I want to keep this, we have like 3 or 4 1-mana spells. I think we got a mulligan. It's just safer. Oh my god. Okay, keep 5. Let's go. What are we putting back? How aggressive can we be? This is a death touch blocker. This is recurring, and we might need card advantage on a double mulligan. I'm gonna bottom another white. Very, very bad. Maybe we should have just kept the first hand and hoped to draw land. Okay. Land 3 isn't terrible. Another Grixis matchup. Okay, so hear me out. I'm gonna play out the Shade because it's likely to get removed, right? And then if it gets removed this turn, we can go Bloodchief's Thirst on the Smoldering Egg into Skyclave Shade. All right. We could also just go for the Trespasser. I think we start with Bloodchief's Thirst. 0-4 blocker is really good against all my 3-powered creatures. Like, all my 3-powered creatures. And my 2-powered boy, but at least he has Death Touch. Oh look, it's almost like I expected that to happen. And this is fine. Which is also why we wait to... Well, we wait for them to play removal spell before we play land. Like, that's why we played Bloodchief's Thirst first. And then I would have gone to combat. If they were moved in combat, then I would have just done it after. Sick. Okay, let's go to combat. Pretend we have lands. Maybe they'll take 3. Yep. And now it's either white and Dungeon Crawler or Graveyard Trespasser. I think we go for the Trespasser. They seem to be a draw-go deck. And Trespasser is really good against those because it flips really fast. Get that ETB value. Also, Ward discard a card is a nice line of text. Memory Deluge. Okay, get that card advantage. I don't hate our spot, but I'd feel a lot better about it if we weren't on the draw and on the double mulligan. Not the best 2 spots to be in, but we'll still try to pull it back. We have a pretty good control matchup, all things considered. Okay, that pause might mean that they have something for 1 mana. They're on 6. I wonder what kind of Grixis this is. Burn the house down. Alright, well that's pretty good. Land there would have been really nice, but it's okay. Just put more creatures on the battlefield. If we can get land, then we can go adversary into Shade next turn. Having man lands is nice as well, but again, no mana to actually use them. Foretell, that's an all-runs Epiphany. Oh, I know this deck, okay. I know this deck. I know your ways, opponent. So we're going to commit more to the board to have more damage on Champion of the Perished. And it's not super likely that they have another board wipe. I feel like we would have seen it on this board last turn. Getting a pretty big hit here. They go to 9. Okay. So Celestis can gain life, which is annoying, but it's not like a crazy amount of life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, this is a fucking mana rock. Okay. All right. So can we live past double extra turn? I don't think so. So what is that? 11 plus 11, we're just dead. Nice, GG. Okay, so we lose, but then again, we weren't in a great spot. Let's put in our control cards. Okay. Also, this is not good against board wipes, so maybe we don't run it. Let me just side out some stuff. Okay. I'm actually concerned, but I think this is still fine. So we can drop off like double adversary. Even though, like, see, this is the thing. The less zombies we have in the main deck, the worse champion gets, right? But it's still not terrible. Maybe we drop off one champion because we're dropping off some adversaries. And just have 7 1-drops instead. Then again, if this is ever just a 1-mana 2/2, that's like solid enough, right? So we can probably get rid of one regent because we know they have Burn the House Down as their board wipe. Seems okay. The ward discard a card creatures are only really good against targeted removal. Board wipes are not good. Or they're not good against board wipes. Okay. We need some mana. Like, that's my main concern with this hand. But we should be able to get there. Alright. Let's get a threat down. I'm also slightly concerned about the eggs because we did side out our removal. But I don't think it's worth keeping in for, like, 4 eggs. Bloodchief's Thirst? No. I attack. Oh, Fading Hope. Alright. Sick. I need lands, guys. I really need lands. Let's play this back. Land off the top. I want a turn of Dungeon Crawler and check for traps. Land off the top. Alright, we hold though. Hold. Removal spell? Removal spell. Okay, so they can have Sweeper here. I don't think we check for traps just yet. I think we just play this out of the yard. And then go for Dungeon Crawler. You really want your sweep, like your hand hate, to hit important things. Like now they have 4, maybe 5 mana. And if they want to sweep this board, that's fine. We want to stop them from doing like really nasty shit where they take a bunch of extra turns. Okay, land is good. Let's get in there. See if they can keep interacting with my board. Spikefield Hazard, that's so good. Okay, that's really good against Skyclave Shade. I'm gonna get, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can have Prismari Command into, okay, they need Prismari Command into land into Alrund's Epiphany. But I don't even think that's super scary. I'm literally just gonna play out the Trespasser. Start the day-night cycle. If this was untapped land, it would be checking for traps plus Skyclave Shade, but it's tapped land, so there's only so much we can do about that. We're still gonna get it down though. We want to progress our mana. Hives are good. I mean, they're still man lands at the end of the day. Okay. So yeah, they're on 6. Iteration's a good card. They played land before they cast the iteration though, so this is a just significantly weaker iteration than it otherwise would have been. Like if they find 2 lands and a spell, they just go pretty much neg1. Alright. Maybe they did find that kind of thing, but luckily for them, they're running Spikefield Hazards. Let's get in there. Take some damage. Take some damage. Okay, so I think we do use 4 mana this turn, and when I get land, we can go 5 mana. So let's start with the check for traps. Oh man, that's a lot of iterations. That's a lot of card advantage, guys. Okay, I think we just get rid of this. If they had only one iteration, I might be tempted to. And you know what? We know they have this. We can play Shade into it, but I kind of like playing Adversary because now we know their Cinderclasm is just not as good. Okay. I don't hate our spot. I really want land off the top, and specifically not a Hive of the Eye Tyrant, but any other land is fine. Oh, they just make it night? Sick, sick, sick. Let's get in there. Do I have any creatures in here? No, I don't. Also, really good land to draw. Take that damage. Down to 9. Let's get in there with the duress. Are they going to go for a double Cinderclasm? How much mana is that? That's 6 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it doesn't wipe my... Does it wipe my board? It does. Fuck off. No double Cinderclasm for you. They pretty much need to cast Iteration here. Oh no, they have Liar, which is cool, I guess. And now they can send this face if they want. I mean, sure. We can also eat the yard with this, which is pretty cool. Cast Ebon Death. Sick. I think they're dead. That's it. Yeah, they're dead to Manland, right? Has Menace. Let me just double check. They take 5 in the air. 6, 7, 8. So they block here 9, 10. Yeah, they're dead. Nice. Okay, that went a lot better. It was a little bit awkward, but still not bad. Is it worth siding and removal for this stuff? I don't fucking think so. I think we just want to get them dead. I think this is a solid lineup. They run a lot of Cinderclasms. And if they're on Cinderclasm, I'm kind of tempted to like go a bit harder on Adversary. But not that much harder because this still has 3 power. So I think we just split 3 and 3. I was not expecting Cinderclasm, but that's cool. Not a bad card. Better in Izzet than it is in Grixis. Because you have more... Well, you have cleaner removal with black. Okay, good hand. I guess we're on that turn 1 duress shit. And we have to build up to a Westgate region, so that's going to be interesting. Okay, so we're not taking Fading Hope or Galvanic Iteration. I could take Land, which is kind of hilarious. I could take Power Word Kill just to like set them back a removal spell. Or I can take Expressive Iteration to set them back on cards. And I think that honestly might be the most important thing right now. And a pass makes sense. I'm not even going to play anything. We're just going to duress again. Plays around Juaris. Plays around removal spell. Okay. So, it's either Juaris or Power Word Kill. I think we just remove this thing. We just get rid of that. And now their draw kind of does nothing. Like, card advantage and removal are gone. Check for traps is pretty funny. I'm just going to play the Shade. I know it plays into Juaris, but what else can we really do right now? We're not just going to pass. Oh my god, they don't counter it. Okay. They just allow me to get a threat on the board. That was a easy Juaris disruption. I mean, if they want land, they want land. That's totally fair. Okay, 3 Shades. More Shades than lands. It's pretty funny. Let's play out the white. They just bounce it. Whatever. I mean, we have to get this stuff played, right? We need more lands anyways. If we could build up to, you know, more consistent mana, our hand would be a lot more threatening. We could just be deploying shit out the gate. No 1-drops is not good. Okay. I mean, there's land, right? Okay. Sure. I will cast my Shade from the yard. Sure. Get that value. Land off the top. 3 mana isn't as important of a threshold as 4 mana. 4 mana is really good because we can start double spelling. So if my draws are land, I'm absolutely laughing. Another Juaris. Duress. Duress isn't bad either. Okay, well that was going to happen anyways. I'm not going to Duress just a Galvanic iteration. I guess we just play out white since they know we have it. Like, Duressing this is so shit. Like, it's really, really bad. It essentially just taxes them 1 mana on it. Oh god, is this a deluge? Okay, they just get double Duress. They get to take 2 of my hand hate spells. Which, I mean, at this stage in the game, we weren't very good anyways. So I guess that's fine. Why would they side in Duress against me? Like, I do run some instants and sorceries, but, you know. I don't think it's enough to warrant playing. That's really, really nice right now. We can just cast it and exile the iteration. Yep. I know it doesn't chip them, right, with the drains, but I think it's totally fine. Ward discard a card. If they have targeted removal, this thing is literally invincible. Nice. What cards would I not want them to recast off Liar? I mean, to be fair, I don't love their entire graveyard, but it's fine. Alright, Cathartic Pyre comes in. They could not have even removed that last turn if they wanted to. We go for a Shade and a white. Again, if they just pass, we flip the Trespasser. And that's game. Nice. Okay, so awkward game 1, but we really come back in games 2 and 3. I'm telling you, post-sideboard games with this deck are really, really fun.